Hi there folks, I wanted to make a video to talk a little bit about this Temur Analyst deck in Standard right now. Currently my top choice for taking to the European Championships in Naples, in Napoli. Very fun deck, I've been very impressed by its results and I just really enjoy the player patterns. I'm not one for super long deck techs, so I mean I can do one if it's desired. But the basic core of the deck is playing Aftermath Analyst to ramp out lands in conjunction with these the Streets of New Capenna fetch land, gain land things. Nissa, Resurgent, Animist makes a bunch of mana with them as well. And then once you've generated a bunch of mana, you can win the game, usually with Worldsoul's Rage, which also functions as a ramp, as well as just a removal spell. Very flexible card this, and you can generate even more mana by casting a Virtue of Strength, potentially doppelganging your Virtue of Strength and some lands, and then just burning your opponent out for a bunch of damage with Worldsoul's Rage. So I thought, instead of spending a super long time talking about the deck and how it functions, it'd be more fun to just play some games and you'd get a sense of it that way. So I do appreciate that. I don't want to play a bot match, I want to play Standard Ranked. This is not the highest rank. What is this? Diamond something? Oh, I need to choose a deck. Haha. It's not the highest of ranks. I was Mythic last season. Not with this deck. I was playing Domain. But I haven't played a bunch this season. What I have played, I've been playing with this deck, and I believe I'm 13-2 currently. And one of those losses was to a disconnect, I think, and the other one was to a really weird Is-It combo deck that I've not seen before. It was quite fun. It flinged a Melek at me. I'll play first, of course. Opening hand has lands and spells, which we like. We like to see our 2-drops early, and we like to see some fetch lands in the opening hand. So we'll go and fetch an island ready for a choice between Fallaji or Aftermath Analyst. Depending on what we're playing against, probably go Fallaji first. Okay, as far as headquarters, which means domain, and I think this is a really good matchup for us. I've not lost to domain yet, but then that said, I've not lost to much yet. I'll take a Deluge. Good to have it. It's also good to mill. Arguably, no, I think the Deluge is just better than the Lithomantic Explosion. Restless Cottage. Maybe this isn't domain then, but still, not to worry too much. We'll play out our Analyst. We would like to find our 4th land to actually activate this thing's ability. And if it's a fetch land, even better for Nissa, get red source. Oh god, I hope my internet doesn't cut out as well. I've been having a lot of problems with that lately. We can also Virtue back a land. This is done. It's a very interesting build of it. The Restless Cottage. Oh, perfect. Found our 4th land and it can trigger the Nissa as well. So yeah, pretty easy turn here I think. We do this, we generate the mana to cast Fallaji. Because we're under no... I mean, we couldn't have activated the Analyst this turn no matter what, but we're under no pressure to do so either. Oh, another Aftermath Analyst instead. Protect against a Sunfall by playing the Fallaji. The Fallaginator. Grab a Doppelgang. Happy days. I could have pushed 1 point damage there. I forget this thing can't block. It's funny the pressure you put yourself under once you're recording. Second Restless Cottage. Okay. Depopulate is so much better for us than Sunfall as well because of the Virtue of Strength being able to get things back. Speaking of which, how do I want to play this one? I'd quite like to get second blue source to be able to cast Memory Deluges. Obviously if I can pop an Aftermath Analyst, then that's going to happen. Sometimes you've got to look out for Tide Binder? Tide Binder, that's the one. I could only think Tide Caller, Tide Shaper. Sometimes you've got to look out for the Tide Shaper from these decks, so there's no guarantee that you'll be able to land that next turn. I think, yeah, I think I'm going to Virtue back for a blue source. Get the blue land that we need. Oh, could I have? There's no island in there. Otherwise I could have just got an island, played it, and then held on to the deluge. But this being as it is, I think we just do this, actually. I don't think I want to play the Analyst and open up to removal. I'll do it. I think if my opponent like Sunfalls this turn, I'm reasonably happy with that. I should have thought this through more, but the clock was scaring me. Double kick the angel. Yeah, that's a one. Not too much to worry about here, though. I don't think. We haven't gotten a lot done though. Right. Do this. So yeah, I've been like autopiloting the deck so much that actually thinking through players is posing a challenge. I mean, I can Doppelgang for one, there's not much point to it. I think I just want to Deluge here. To be honest, I'll Deluge now, just in case. I have seen some of these decks play No More Lies. And we'll just do this. Eight mana for Doppelgang to get two things. And even just like ramping out two lands can be pretty good, actually. Now this is interesting. We're seeing some exciting things here. I'm tempted to just slam a Virtue. Is 3, 5, 5, 6. This is obviously bad if they just leyline binding it, which they are definitely holding up. I think we have the mana to double spell with Nissa and Memory Deluge, so we should just do that. Although, definitely should not have allowed the auto tap at the top for two blue sources there. Now I have to fire this off now. Auto tapper. Worldsoul's Rage is really good here. Maestros Theater with Nissa is very nice. We're not under that much pressure. We don't really need the ill-timed explosion. As long as we can get rid of this Acklezotz, we're fine. We'll discard our other copy of Nissa. If they deal with this one, it's slightly annoying, but we can Shigeki things back once we have the mana. Certainly gained a lot of life there. If they do Binding Nissa, or Archangel's Wrath Nissa, it's beginning to look like that ill-timed explosion would have been good, actually. But maybe I'm being a bit too confident when actually I'm getting beaten down a little bit. 3, 6, 10. I can just drop a Virtue and see what happens. They actually don't have a black land, so they can't just binding. Actually, I'm being silly. I should use Worldsoul's Rage to ramp and get rid of this Acklezotz. So Worldsoul's Rage for 3, 5. We can do it for 5, so we should. 2, 3, 4, 5. Get a bunch of triggers. And the live gain is like relevant as well. God, I'm getting some Google messages there. Yeah, I do want to play this one. Like, there's the possibility of saving it with Nissa, but I think just having more lands is good right now. Means that we can cast a Virtue. They're unlikely to be able to counter it, and if you can So we've got 6, 10, 13. Spend 7 to cast it, and then we're going to have 6 untapped lands. Which means that that's like 18 mana. So it actually generates us 11 mana to cast this. And they can't interact with it. With 18 mana we can Doppelganger for... We can do it for 5. Obviously we open ourselves up a little bit to counter magic if it's in the deck. Although Normal Lies is not held up by the mana that's on the board here. I think, to be honest, I would prefer you to tap something like that, yeah. Okay, lots of mana to play with now. Doppelgang is very tempting. I don't want to just make a bunch of Archangels and run into Sunfall. Let's do this. So this makes 15, 4, 8, 12. So let's do Doppelgang for 4, targeting Virtue, Island, Forest. Do you want any of their lands? Not particularly. Sure. I mean, if this resolves, we just have absolutely okay. Binding now just to take out the Virtue. Tap this mountain in response to that. But we still get to make 12 new lands. So still plenty of mana to play with there. We'll start with a Deluge. Worldsoul's Rage seems pretty good. Ill-timed Explosion. Cast and Ill-timed Explosion. Discarding Ill-timed Explosion and Fallaji. Then we have 3, 6, 8 mana. So that was enough to channel Shigeki for 2. We could get back Virtue of Strength and Lier. Probably seems pretty good. We'll wait until, because they're probably going to attack us with Restless Cottagers. So we'll wait to see what they target with that. Just to steal some of their value there. Hoping we don't have like a OTK type thing. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's 1 mana off being able to Imidane's Recruiter and Herd Migration. So if like the 3 cards in the hand are Untapped Land, Imidane's, and Herd Migration, we are dead. But short of that. Cool. That's interesting. 5 mana Surgical Extraction, eh? So I mean, let's just Shigeki now. We get back our Virtue of Strength. And oh, we can't target Lier because you can't get legendaries. Doppelgang is perfectly good though. Oh, we could do it for 3. Whoops. Oh, I miscounted mana. In that case, I should have Shigeki last turn and then Virtued back the Shigeki. Because now, like, if they don't take Shigeki, then I can Virtue back Shigeki and I can just loop any amounts of nonsense from my deck. But the position we're in is really incredibly good, and I think I've misplayed a fair amount in this game also. What did they take? Oh, did they was there a second Virtue? Did I just miscount that? It's also, I can just Doppelgang the Leyline Binding to get that 1 back. Wait, what went? Oh, they just took Deluges? Okay. I guess they didn't necessarily see the Worldsoul's Rage. So we virtue back Shigeki. That's just as insurance, really. I think the game's not going that far. Yeah. There are a lot of lines we could have done there afterwards. I think I would have started with a Doppelgang. So, weird domain-ish deck. Chandra. So we just want to bring in our top-end stuff and negate, essentially. I like to bring in a Turn the Earth in case they like play a Jace and they try and mill us out, but that might be playing a little too scared. Abrade is also something you might want to consider if you expect Unlicensed Hearse to come in. I'll just sideboard out the Fallajis because we don't really need them to block that much and we don't want to mill ourselves out. You know, we have enough going on. What we've done is we've replaced Fallajis with the cards that we want Fallaji to hit. So we just increase our chances of drawing those. And then ill-timed explosions don't seem super necessary against a deck that doesn't seem to be playing its threats very fast. Opening hand is not awesome, but I think you want to keep it. Worldsoul's Raging for 1 is like not the worst thing to do. 2 Memory Deluges is pretty good actually. And we just draw an Aftermath Analyst anyway, so it goes. Being able to get these analysts out early is really cool because it pressures your domain opponent to have to hit them with Leyline Bindings, which is like quite a precious resource for them. We've only got 4. And also once Leyline Bindings on the battlefield, well then you can sorry, let's take enough guard by the pilfer. Then you can Doppelgang the Leyline Binding and get things back, and also deal with their board. But I mean, this is a very different build of domain than what we've seen before. Takes out the Virtue. Interesting. I wonder if they've got a answer to a creature then. Or if they're just very scared of Virtue shenanigans. I wonder if they're going to like try and get the Deadly Cover up to deal with the Virtue. I think that's pretty fine for us. We have enough other ways to win. Like, you can just Worldsoul's Rage a couple times. If you need to, you can Doppelgang your lands. They're going hard on the discard route. So we'll play this courtyard to get... Is there any reason... I'm going to get red while I can. Given that we've got the island in hand for the Deluge. Mana. That's a slight risk, isn't it? Because they could go like Land Wandering Emperor or something. Temporary lockdown. No worries either way then. I wonder if they are playing counter magic then. I've seen a lot of duress type effects from them. Let's just do this now. Not get too crazy with it. We've already got 2 lands in hand. Chandra looks great. Shigeki looks great. We've got like, yeah, pretty straightforward choices there, I think. Or you just Deluge again next turn. Make the duresses look silly. Can't duress Shigeki, sadly. I think I would take Chandra. Again, unless they've got like counter magic for her. I mean, we love to see this, right? We love to see that they've duressed us 3 times and yet we're not hurting for cards at all. Because they're unlikely to have much card draw in their deck outside of like a Traxxas. Or, you know, we've not seen Up the Beanstalk from them, which is surprising. If I play the land, then... no, Shigeki has 2 X's, so it doesn't even open that lineup. That's fine. Let's just get another forest. I think if I wanted the forest I should have played the Cabaretti Courtyard. Because the Brokers is more important for islands, and there's a forest in hand. I don't think that was the best thought through decision. Deluge. Great choices here. we can Nissa Courtyard Deluge. That's pretty great. We do find an Analyst. So next turn 3 we'll have 6 mana, so we can just like cast Analyst and activate it if our Nissa is still around, and things look really good for us. So I think right now let's be mana efficient and cast this Deluge. Getting another hideout is tempting with Nissa. Like the Worldsoul's Rage is a definite, I think. And the question is, do I want another hideout with Nissa, or... Because we've got a lot in our graveyard. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 hideouts. Just getting that up to 6 matter very much. I guess it does actually. Yeah. And even if Nissa does eat it, then it still increases our Analyst. Okay, they just play Atraxa. And they do not find an untapped land, so we are not in danger of them being able to leyline binding Nissa, or cast Duress either. Unless that's an untapped land, it's the last card in hand. Cool. We are going to game off King. And I mean, there's like a possibility that this gets us another Aftermath Analyst, and it just looks really silly. Okay, it didn't. But this. I milled over 2 more lands. Activate, get a bunch of triggers. Start making some green, start making some blue. I'm just going to click some buttons for a while. I can't necessarily narrate all of these decisions. It's got some red in there, why not? So, Doppelgang's interesting because it might be the case that Doppelgang's actually just free, or might even generate mana. Because if you Doppelgang your lands, you get Nissa's landfall triggers, and the lands come in untapped. And then you get to keep those permanently. So we've got 7, 12, 14, 15, 16. So Doppelgang for 4 costs 14. It will make 16 lands. Doppelgang will actually generate mana if we do it for 4 here. It will generate so much mana that Worldsoul's Rage is just lethal. So let's do that. Just how silly. Make sure we get it right in. Put in some blues in case Memory Deluge is. It's not. It's not. We're just going to win the game here. We know there's absolutely nothing they can do. They don't even have the mana to Herd Migration if it's even in their deck. So we'll just Worldsoul's Rage for 20. And I mean, we still got 16 mana available. Isn't it? 12. Crazy. Yeah. Deck goes off. Part of the reason I'm such a big fan of Doppelgang, right there, you got to see. I don't think I narrated all of my decisions perfectly accurately there, but we did okay. Let's queue up for another. You might be thinking, is this deck weak to anything? And the answer's no. That's not true. The graveyard hit is actually surprisingly good. Things like Unlicensed Hearse. I think Lantern of the Lost is the one currently legal in Standard. Those things can hurt, especially if they come down early and they're backed up by they're backed up by like threat. So I've seen some Rakdos decks play Unlicensed Hearse, and just by having a decent curve like Bat into Hearse into Shieldred or something, that can be a little tricky. Hand is not amazing, but like I think it's fine. Again, this is like a Worldsoul's Rage for 1 into a Worldsoul's Rage for 2. And we just hope that the top of the deck has something half decent in store for us. Looking at the deck tracker, which I don't think you can see on the recording. Not looking at any particular information now. We'll grab an island. I'm not casting this on X equals 0. So I may as well get all of our colours of mana. Ooh, this might be the mirror. In fact, it has to be, right? Interesting. Well, let's see if we can play it better than them. I think Shigeki is like a pretty nice draw here. It does like a mini Analyst impression. Unfortunately, they've got big Analyst. Big Analyst energy right there. So if I Shigeki, hopefully I can get a land. That would put me on 4 mana next turn. I want to be able to kill the Analyst with Worldsoul's Rage, and I just don't think that's happening. Which is sad. I've got an Echoing Deeps in the deck because it was in the list that I took from elsewhere. I honestly don't really know what to make of it. It hasn't done any particular work for me yet. So sorry if you're looking for some deep insights on the Echoing Deeps. Like, you can copy your opponent's lands sometimes, which is kind of cool. Maybe it's half decent to take out like to grab a Field of Ruin, and then you can Field of Ruin man lands and stuff like that. It doesn't seem to have hurt, at the very least. And you know, it has this weird function as like, in the early game it can be one of these hideouts, in the late game you can just use it. Get Nissa. We've got Nissa. This is silly, I've not played the mirror before. I think we're currently like ahead on mana. Actually, we don't have an Analyst in the graveyard, do we? No, we have almost nothing in the graveyard. Okay, let's get islands. Get green mana. Found an Analyst, perfect. And then I will virtue back a hideout to be able to go off with Nissa next turn even more. Now I think us being on the play here has really advantaged us. Because like next turn they can either activate Analyst or play Nissa and do some stuff with it, but they shouldn't be able to do both. Whereas next turn we can do both. We're going to be able to take out their stuff. In fact, we've got 2 Worldsoul's Rages, and the Worldsoul's Rages will generate mana with Nissa, so we can probably wipe their board and put ourselves massively ahead. Ooh, they're playing Splendid Reclamation deck and we're not. Interesting. Right, let's generate some red mana. Although, like, yeah, it kind of doesn't matter because that's not anywhere near the first thing that we're doing. Ooh, another Analyst. So, do we have the mana? Yeah, we do. Do we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? Okay, we've got plenty of these. So we want to play this in case we mill over any more lands. I think we're either going to win or put ourselves in a unbeatable position this turn, so somewhat just going through the motions at this point. green for now. Wow, this is a lot, actually. A lot of clicking. And in paper you've got to figure out how you want to batch all of these actions also. It's a little bit of a thing to consider if you do decide to pick up this deck. The other thing is how on earth you're going to get a hold of Nissa Resurgent Animists, because you probably do want to play set. And they are not an easy card to come by. Don't really feel like massively good about this victory. I don't feel like we've navigated this matchup any better. We just drew pretty well and we were on the play. So it goes sometimes. So we are out of basics to get from the deck. Oh, there's a mountain left in the deck. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So doing this generates mana. Yeah, we do want this to copy Courtyard still. And then we're just going to Worldsoul's Rage them to death. The first Worldsoul's Rage should produce enough mana for the second Worldsoul's Rage to be equal. Unfortunately now we've got to press decline a bunch of times because the game can't like not let us look at our deck. So we have 21 mana, so the first one does 19. And then it makes 8 mana, I think. Choose up to 19 lands. Oh. I have a map, also. Decline a bunch more times because I sadly can't just show my opponent the Worldsoul's Rage. Pretty nutty stuff here. Then just do this for 5. Oh, right. Interesting. So, I've not thought about how we're playing the mirror. Turn the Earth seems pretty good, just to shuffle some lands back in when they try and go off with it. Can also target their Virtue of Strength targets. I think we just kind of want like our big stuff. So I think it's going to be a similar kind of, yeah, a similar kind of game here. Now, do we want Negate is an interesting question. The ill-timed explosions are kind of... Oh, actually, Abrades will probably be quite good just to get the problematic permanents off the battlefield. Something like that, yeah. If we can kill Nissa or the Analyst with this, then we'll get ahead that way. But yes, I've got Galvanic Iteration in the sideboard. I've seen a lot of decks play it in the main. I don't know what it's doing. You can Galvanic Iteration like a Doppelgang or a Worldsoul's Rage or something, but if it's Doppelgang, like flashing back Galvanic Iteration is the same as just adding, is the same mana cost as just adding one more to the Doppelgang. And because the Doppelgang already like multiplies itself in an interesting way, the added effect of having the Galvanic Iteration in your deck doesn't seem that huge. Doesn't work very well with Memory Deluge. It works nicely with Virtue of Strength in that you can copy the sorcery part and regrowth 2 things, but I mean, you're paying 3 mana for 2 mana of effect, or 4 mana for 2 mana of effect, so that doesn't seem that great. So I think I want to drop the Galvanic. If someone can sell me on it, you know, please do, but I'm not sure I get it. Not sure I get it right now. Maybe like a second copy of Turn the Earth could be relevant, kind of because the second one can target the first one, which is neat. Maybe just another anti-aggro card, because the Convoke matchups and the mono-red matchups can be somewhat challenging, just in terms of how much they can get on the board. Titania, the Voice of Gaia, I think is her epithet right now in Standard. That can be quite useful also. Hand is okay. I like on the draw. On the draw, I should probably be mulliganing more, to be honest, because I think like I really wanted interaction. Yeah, I think it was a mistake to keep this hand. I kind of just saw lands and spells, and part of me had to defeat this attitude of, well, I think it's going to be a really difficult matchup anyway, so I may as well just keep a 7-card hand and hope that they stumble. But I think that thinking was incorrect. I already disavow myself. So no turn 2 play, but that's like not that surprising, because the turn 2 plays, unless it's like literally, unless you go one of the 2 drops into Nissa, there's not much difference between playing it on turn 2 or turn 3, and it means that you get to it means that you get to get the extra land in your graveyard. Sorry, words are escaping me as I'm trying to think about how I want to deal with the Nissa problem that has presented itself. Because I can Worldsoul's Rage for 1, put myself in a position where I'll have 5 mana next turn. 5 mana doesn't really get us anywhere is the problem. Nothing really gets us anywhere. I guess if I play Nissa, then next turn I find the fetch. I'll still only have 5 mana. Oh, but then 5 would be enough for Worldsoul's Rage to kill Nissa. And deal 3 would actually generate mana at that point also. So we can hope, but they could also be about to do the exact same play on me. So we want to hope that they just cast this Analyst, I think. Ooh, a Braid. Okay. Yeah, I wish this was a Braid right now. Oh, and they've got Malevolent Hermits in the sideboard. I like Malevolent Hermit in the sideboard. The story there is I didn't have the wild cards. I can't believe these things are rare. What a joke. I didn't have the... I will craft these because it was worth it, but it feels like a little bit of a speculative one, whereas I was a lot more convinced on the rest of the deck. I know, it's not what you want from your from a person showcasing the deck on YouTube. So I think I'm just playing the Analyst. But it's like it's over. I think it's over. Wow. Upsetting that we didn't even hit the land. Just 3 cards that we would have wanted to draw. If my I'm going to concede. This is ridiculous, yeah. This is over. Analyst can activate, brings back a bunch of lands. As long as those cards in hand do literally anything, the game's over, so. Okay. Might just be a die roll matchup. Don't think I'm too disappointed. I'm wondering about the ill-timed explosion to some extent. I think the Abrades are better because they come down on more convenient turns. Everything else is just like payoff, so I think we stick with how it is. But maybe we consider our mulligans a little bit more, though we are on the play now. So we want to see our 2 drops, we want to see Nissa. We see a hand that has a Braid and 5 lands. I'll keep it. They've mulliganed. I think the fact that like, so these lands will thin our deck a little bit in a way that is actually relevant. The deck thinning is kind of relevant in this one. Would I be showing my hand by getting a mountain so early? Whatever. Will they have that read? We'll see. We see a deluge. Deluge means let's start getting some islands. Ooh, actually though, because our best draws are things that we need forest to cast. Like that one. Interesting. So our opponent plays mountain on turn 2. So I think they've got Abrade. Which is good info. Let's get forest now. Do I get an island ready to cast Deluge? Oh, it doesn't matter because I played the Cabaretti Courtyard, so I don't get to make that decision anymore. So ready to turn the earth those though. Wow, this is some exciting gameplay. But also kind of actually. There's some mind games being played, that's for sure. So, if they play a 3-drop, obviously we want to Abrade it. 3-drop being Nissa. They're not, they're just playing out the theater. So I think their hand's full of interaction. Or they're just trying to play around my interaction, which we've got kind of a who will blink first thing going on here. So I'm fairly confident they have an Abrade in hand. So let's not give them the opportunity to Abrade our Nissa this turn. Whereas like next turn I think they'll be wasting their mana. So we can hold up Deluge. I don't know if I'm explaining myself very well here. We can hold up Deluge and I think they'll just waste this 3 mana and we won't be wasting our 4 mana. And they will probably want to do something on their turn. Whereas if we played the Nissa, that would open up the Abrade that's in their hand. We don't want that. We don't want to give our opponent options. We want the options all for ourselves. So really like that. So we'll just get a forest. And we've still got another hideout in hand for the Nissa. Yeah, okay. So they have nothing to do. Now they have things to do. Playing out the theater. Interesting. So I'm guessing they don't have Nissa. They are playing Splendid Reclamation though, which is a little scary. He's a sorcery. Probably only playing like 1 copy, if I had to guess. Ooh. Do I need second Abrade? Don't think I do. I think I like this combo. So yeah, 5 mana. If I play Nissa, like she's almost certainly resolved, so I at least get 1 trigger. And I think what I would want to do is just play. Don't want to tap out of red, thanks. Don't want to tap out of green either because of turn there. So I think I play Nissa. I play Brokers Hideout looking for blue. Yeah, Nissa gets abraded. Doesn't matter what colour I choose because I'm not going to use it anyway, I'll just take blue. I could cast the second Nissa, but then I'm just asking to be abraded again. We know that they don't seem to have much action. We like holding up our Abrade, we like holding up our Turn the Earth. We can just get ready to Nissa again next turn. Frillback's a good one. Frillback is a good one. Now there's still plenty to rebuild from here, but we do hate to see this. Now, I could turn the earth, but then when I turn the earth, it'd be gone. I don't think that's what I want, right? Don't clap, mole. I ain't upgrading this. Yeah. Okay. We get both halves of the trigger this time. Very nice. Just more islands, I think. Just more in time. Do we hit an analyst? We do. I think we can just play this pretty comfortably. We don't have the lands in the graveyard anymore, thanks to this Frillback. But now we do. Obviously we don't have the mana to activate the Analyst, but we can still hold up our Abrade, our turn the earth. Position seems good. Ooh, we get to see what the advantage of Galvanic is. It's going to Abrade two things. I'll be honest, that. Oh, Worldsoul's Rage twice. Interesting. This is difficult. I can reduce the effectiveness of the Worldsoul's Rage slightly by shuffling two of their lands back in. It means that these rages only get to ramp by 4 mana instead of 6. I don't know if that's good enough. I don't think it is. I could also use Abrade to kill my own thing to deny them 3 lands. Wow. Rough. I'll tell you what, I'll use the turn the earth. Wait, what? Oh, it skipped it. I ran out of time. I see. Well, I will say Galvanic does look impressive in this very particular setup. To be fair, to be fair. What a strange game this one's been. So Doppelgang for 2 costs 8, 4, 5, 6, 7 currently. I wonder if, I think the Doppelgang is like a somewhat rogue choice, so you don't often see it. I can Doppelgang. Just Doppelgang Frillback. Get rid of all this stuff. I think that's quite good enough. I was like, yeah. Difficult place to be now. Oh, we're not doing anything. We're not doing anything pre-combat anyway. Maybe they just got lands. Do you want to look out for Negate a little bit? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I'm now at the point that I could Doppelgang, copy the Frillback. And like a land. Exile their graveyard. Have 2 frillbacks. Weak to negate, of course, but you know, when isn't it? Let's try. Get them again. Okay. Don't know how much I love that Galvanic Iteration being there. Does make the draws quite a bit better. So let's get rid of it. Alright, I can choose up to 3. Oh my god, that would have made the... Oh, Turn the Earth is 3 cards. That would have made the Worldsoul's Rages a lot worse. Okay, Chandra. That's a draw. That is a draw. No second negate? Well, hey. I'm just gonna +1. Just completely whiff. Okay. Should be safe from a frill deck, at least. This is Worldsoul's Rage, that's kind of sad. Those are some... I'm upset to have exiled my Lier. The lands are kind of whatever, although some of those were basics, which is upsetting. But... if we can hit a Doppelgang... Obviously, Deluge is not great to copy with Chandra. This just in. Try this again. Okay. Okay. Now we're talking. 4, 8, 10. So we can Doppelgang for 2 twice. Virtue of Strength back. Something. Doesn't seem that great. I think we want to Doppelgang for 2 twice. Just take frill back and land. Take frill back and different land. Exile our opponent's graveyard. I can gain 4 life also. Why not? Interesting mirror this has been. Chandra and Doppelgang potentially swinging it for me. Deluge is scary. Deluge can hit a lot of gas. Deluge again is less scary. Maybe that's just playing around the Turn the Earth though. Now, one thing I can consider is that I would copy my Turn the Earth and I can just put some win cons in my deck. 1, 2, put 2 Doppelgangs in and a Worldsoul's Rage. Which is not bad. How many lands have I got? 2, 7, 8, 9. Maybe not just yet. Nissa. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6 lands in the graveyard. I feel like Nissa's not doing a bunch for me here. 2, 6, 7, 8, 13, 14, 15. Well, oh, actually, no, 15 is good because I've got the frillbacks. Sorry, that was me trying to figure out if Worldsoul's Rage would be enough to win the game. So, 2, 6, 7, 8, 13, 14, 15. So Worldsoul's Rage for 13. And then again. I will put the lands on the battlefield. Okay, that wins the game. Alright, neat. Nissa looked good there. Not Nissa, sorry. Chandra. Chandra looked good there. God, how many times did I have fun in the match? I don't know, weird one. Okay, well, that'll do it for now, I think. Been really enjoying playing this deck. I'm more than happy to record more footage of it. It's been really fun. I kind of don't want to see it everywhere on the ladder. Please, don't watch this video. But I think it's really fun. And I think fun to play in paper, does some crazy things, has some interesting player patterns, lots of weird decision points. Rewards a good amount of skill and format knowledge. These are things that we like. Difficult to play around except for that dedicated graveyard here. Cards like Unlicensed Hearse and the Lantern of the Lost. Farewell to some extent, but that one's a little slow. We get to do a lot of things by the time Farewell comes online. So, if you expect the meta to not have much of that graveyard hit, I think it's a really solid choice. I think if you're in a kind of meta where there's a lot of decks like Blue-Black Crime running around, or Sultai, Squirming Emergence, and people are playing cards like Unlicensed Hearse, maybe this isn't the one, to be honest, because it does struggle against that graveyard hit, and it's difficult to counteract it. Otherwise, it's a very fun choice. I'm going to continue playing it. I'll probably make some more videos about it. I hope you've enjoyed watching. Thank you very much, and have a lovely rest of your day. See you, folks.